Welcome to this time for Constitution Study Television. I am your host, Douglas V. Gibbs. Let's talk impeachment. The Democrats are Trump impeachment. They've been saying it since the day he went into office. And now that the Mueller report has come out, they've decided for sure they need to impeach him. Because in the Mueller report, even though there was no evidence found, he must obviously be guilty. I was reading an email that was sent to me not too long ago. It says basically what the Mueller report says in the setting of the Old West is while we recognize that there's no evidence that you tried to steal any horses, you are guilty of trying to resist being hanged for it. Now, when it comes to impeachment, we go into the U.S. Constitution, in Article 1, Section 2, it indicates that the House of Representatives has the sole power of impeachment. And then it goes on in the next section of Article 1 and explains that the Senate hears impeachment. What does that mean, and what does impeachment itself mean? Because most Americans, when they hear the word impeachment, they think it means removal from office. That is not what impeachment means. Impeachment is the charge. So the House of Representatives can charge, they can bring forth a charge, the impeachment, but it still has to be heard. And then even if the person is convicted through the Senate hearing, that doesn't necessarily mean they'll be removed from office. A different punishment could be applied. Now, for something serious, normally it is a removal from office. Now, what has Trump done that means that he needs to be impeached? Oh, that's right. He ticked off his opposition. Folks, last time I checked, that is not grounds for impeachment. Maladministration of your office, acting in a manner that's outside the U.S. Constitution, giving aid and comfort to the enemy, lying under oath, hence Clinton, Nixon. No, what they want to do is they want to impeach him for disagreeing with them. That's what happened to Andrew Johnson. Andrew Johnson was impeached because he kept vetoing all of the Congress's bills. Andrew Johnson, this was the successor of Abraham Lincoln after he was assassinated. Andrew Johnson had been Lincoln's vice president. Lincoln was a Republican, but Johnson was a Democrat. Interesting. Lincoln chose a Democrat running mate. Why? Because he was trying to get the peripheral or the border states between the Confederacy and the Union to stay in support of Lincoln. And Johnson was, while he wasn't necessarily sympathetic to the slave owners, he was definitely sympathetic to the Union when it came to secession. He was against the secession, and he wanted to hold the Union together, and so on and so forth. So Lincoln chose him as his running mate, so he can make sure he gets the Tennessee vote, the Kentucky vote, and the Maryland vote, and the Delaware vote, which was a slave state still, and all that jazz. Now, when Lincoln was assassinated and the war ended, the Republican-dominated Congress wanted to punish the states that had seceded so that they would never do such a thing again. And the bills that they were pushing were pretty severe. And so Johnson would veto them. He felt they were too severe. And then they would override his veto because there was enough of them that they could. And then the next bill came out, and he would veto. And eventually they get tired of him vetoing, and so they tried to impeach him because they wanted a president that would quit vetoing their bills. They tried to impeach him because he disagreed with them. That's very fascinating. Republicans tried to impeach a Democrat because he kept disagreeing with them. Now it's the reverse. Now we got a bunch of Democrats trying to impeach a Republican because he disagrees with them. That's not grounds for impeachment. If that's what our government has come to, how ridiculous would it be to just, you might as well, it's like overthrowing the government almost, isn't it? But they're screaming impeachment. Now, of course, impeachment will never go because the House can impeach, in other words, bring up charges with a simple majority. But it takes 2/3 of the Senate to convict. They don't have enough votes to convict. And what's even more interesting is most of America knows that this impeachment thing is ridiculous. I almost want the Democrats to try to impeach Trump. Why? Because if they do so, the voters will be out in force to make sure he wins a re-election. Problem is, the arrogance of the Democrats, they don't realize that. They think if they try to impeach him, that'll just make him even more unpopular, and then they'll have a chance. Their arrogance is impeachable. That all said, impeachment is a valuable tool. If you have a president who is abusing his power, if he is acting in a manner that's beyond what the Constitution allows, absolutely, we should be able to throw him out. Why not? That's a good thing. But not just because he disagrees with you. That's ridiculous. Thanks for listening. I am Douglas V. Gibbs, Constitution Study TV. You can find me also online at douglasvgibbs.com and politicalpistachio.com. You can donate to help keep these videos going at either one of those web addresses. There's a yellow donate button. You hit that and become a monthly donor or a one-time donor, but helping out is always a good thing. Also, I'm a writer. I'm an author. There's 7 books out there so far by me. The first one being 25 Myths of the United States Constitution. The latest being A Promise of American Liberty, which I use as a textbook for my government students. Yes, I teach government to homeschoolers. Thank you for spending the time with me. Be safe. Stay patriotic. And as always, stay constitutional. We'll see you next time.